Welcome back to Soul Sister Wives. Today we're going to do a comprehensive recap of Sister Wives that aired last night. The show is on to season 20, and it's admittedly a slow start to the new season. People are still realizing that this show is back on the air because it just wrapped up season 19 inches June. But honey, they're a top show and they're back now. The question remains, did last night feel like a top show to viewers? At the end, when Tony and Mike Kelty are moving to North Carolina so he can be in the chess mecca of the world, and they're driving through hailstorms and filming it like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, did that hail hit us? David wants to chase tornadoes. Maybe the host has a pregnancy rage. She doesn't know. But she just thought to herself, can she take another season of this show being like watching paint dry? She's not sure. She's really not sure about it. That was a little brutal to sit through. However, season 20 is set to have some explosive moments coming up. This is supposed to be the potential of Kody's redemption arc, which many fans are anticipating. He is going to meet with each of the wives one-on-one and apologize to them for all the mayhem he's caused over the past couple of years. And he buys a new $2 million house that viewers are going to see them move into. Meri meets a man, which is exciting news. The host will tell viewers more about that development. She has some exclusive tea about that situation. And Christine and David are going to get a little bit deeper in their marriage. Doesn't sound like they're breaking up by any means, but they're hitting some rough patches because of David. David's a little bit of a wild child, as viewers are discovering. And Christine's adjusting to monogamy, which is a significant transition for her. She has spoken about monogamy before. A lot of viewers who are diehards that follow the show know this fact. She said the next book she wants to write is about the struggles of monogamy, because for so long with Kody, she lived her own life from Vegas. Even before Vegas, she really made her own decisions. Kody didn't care about her day-to-day choices. She had her own house and her own space. So like coexisting with a man who now wants a say in things is very challenging, and the host could see that struggle playing out. All right, well, the episode opens with last night's season 20, episode 2. The host will say this part had her glued to the screen because she doesn't know. Do viewers ever watch TV shows and actually feel uncomfortable and awkward for the people on screen? That's what she felt with Meri speed dating. She was over here sweating, adjusting her boobies. She was like, oh, okay, what is going on here? Jen and Meri are finally at the speed dating event in Salt Lake City last night. That's where the episode opens. And Meri, Jen is like getting ready and preparing her friend. Jen's grilling her before the guys come in for the speed dating rounds. What? What's a hobby you want to do before you die? Fly an airplane, Meri says without hesitation. Really? Like the host didn't picture Meri wanting to fly an airplane. Did viewers picture that? She doesn't know. She pictured Meri because she loves dogs so much. She pictured her being like, I want to run with the elephants, or be one of those safari trucks going 70 miles per hour while the elephants are stampeding through Kenya. The host thought viewers were going to get that kind of adventurous answer. But Meri wants to fly an airplane, apparently, which is interesting. She's 54 years old, and she does say she opens up and lets viewers know that dating has been very challenging for her at this stage in life. And Meri, by the way, she's been single from Kody now, going on over 2 years, probably headed to 3 years of being single. It's been a hot second since her spiritual divorce. So Meri says it's extremely hard to get back into the dating scene after all this time. Then viewers pop down to Flagstaff, and Kody is again cutting down trees on his property. The host loves when producers do this to him. They try to make this man look so masculine and so good with these outdoor activities, and she's just gonna say she grew up in the Maine woods, okay? She grew up in Maine back in the early 90 seconds, the late 80 seconds, early 90 seconds, and she'll tell viewers what that was like. They would go to the dump and watch bears eat trash. That was their Friday night entertainment, okay? So she's been around men with chainsaws growing up. And honey, she grew up in the 90 seconds in Maine where everybody had a shotgun in the window of their truck. You know what she's saying? So he comes out, he's trying to cut up this tree that he's cut down, And her question is it the same tree that he cut down like a year ago in season 19? That seems suspicious to her. And she feels like the chainsaw is too small for this particular tree. They don't show him actually cutting through the whole thing on camera. It's just, he gets halfway down and then Robyn comes out of the house. They're gonna have a conversation about Coyote Pass and where they want to live long term. So the host loves when they have him cut down trees for the cameras. He's so manicured to her to some degree now, but he's doing fairly well on special forces. So what does she know? So in this scene, viewers are popping back and forth from Janelle, Robyn, Kody. And Janelle lets viewers know it's been 2 years of this battle. She has been begging, asking, pushing for all of their names, meaning Robyn, Kody, Janelle, Meri's names, to be on Coyote Pass on CP. Now, if viewers haven't followed along, the host means she thinks all of them know at this point. CP sold this past March-April timeframe. And people hate when she calls it CP because they're like, on TikTok, that means child porn. Why are you calling it CP? Because it's podcasting terminology, okay? On podcasting, CP means Coyote Pass, okay? It doesn't always have to translate from app to app with the same meaning. Anyhow, viewers are in this case talking about Coyote Pass people. And you know Kody won't put their names on it for the longest time. He's been running around and the host doesn't know. She means they don't weigh in on the theories as to why he won't put their names on the property. And what was very interesting, she thought, in last night's episode is every time Kody talks about Coyote Pass, he sort of makes it a point on camera to say repeatedly, you know, I'm gonna make it so everybody gets their fair share. You know, everybody's getting a quarter, their fair share. Then, you know, they don't have anything to worry about because everybody is getting 1/4. I'm gonna be fair, right? He keeps emphasizing this point. But Janelle says it's been a big struggle to trust that process. The host thinks most people believe that's true. And in fact, viewers know in real time, she thinks it might have been late 2024, almost a year ago, the titles were redone and then it was sold in the spring. Okay, for like $1.5 million. So Kody is ready to sell Coyote Pass and move on. So is Meri ready to sell, so is Janelle ready to sell. Robyn is the only one struggling with letting go of the property. And the host has got to tell viewers she means she doesn't have any animosity towards anybody on reality TV. She feels grateful for them to expose and open their lives and listen and probably see the comments that people write about them. To be a public figure is not easy at all. Okay, but she actually had some empathy for Robyn last night. She thinks she forgets how much, where it doesn't matter to the other women, but how much polygamy like Robyn loves it. Robyn loves it with her whole heart. It's so odd to the host, right? It's like she doesn't know. She means it's like my strange addiction, you know? It's like people who have an obsession with eating their sofas. That's what she feels about plural marriage. It seems just like self-harm to her mind. Like what? She is not in that mind space. How are these people doing this? But she fell for Robyn because she is struggling so much with this loss. You know, it's hard to come to terms that the women don't want anything to do with Coyote Pass anymore. They don't want anything to do with them as a family unit. And in these scenes last night, several times, Robyn tries to hold Kody accountable, essentially saying, like, because Kody in this scene basically says, you know, I have a wife. Her name is Robyn. She's the most kind, amazing woman you've ever met in your life, and she would never let me do anything evil. And then his face almost transforms to the point the host is like, did they add AI to this? It was so creepy looking. And she says to Kody, she's like, you haven't been the most accommodating person to Janelle and Meri either. So she is always holding this mirror up to him and trying to make him see reality. And the host understands for her. She's the last one of the group where this dream is dying, right? And in a way, is the show itself dying? The host means a lot of people feel viewers have only got a couple seasons left probably of this iconic show that's been on for so many years. The host thinks Christine Brown Woolley is now launching a Christine Brown Woolley Instagram account. She saw there was obviously something wrong with her other account, which had over 1 million followers. So, was it co-owned by Kody through Kody's LLC? Was it through the network? Whatever it was, her new one seems to the host a little bit like she is distancing herself from the show. And a lot of people feel this is it for Christine. This season, or maybe next season, will be her last. So, the host understands Robyn's struggles on a deeper level. Robyn is the most passionate the host thinks she's ever seen her on the show when she's talking about Coyote Pass. Coyote Pass and the dreams they had for it. What they were going to do there with the property. You know, she loves damn plural marriage so much. She, the host, has never seen her so excited about anything. The woman gets so excited and she feels betrayed by everybody wanting to sell the land. And for her, the hardest part is it's a symbol of everything. Letting go of Coyote Pass is a symbol that it's officially over with the family unit. Yes, it is over. Has been for the ladies for a long time now. Meri in Salt Lake City is trying to get laid. She ain't interested in looking back at the past, but the host gets Robyn's perspective. And in this moment, for the very first time, viewers get introduced to Kody's idea of how Robyn feels about selling the entire house they currently live in. And at first she's like, well, because Kody basically says, and the host thinks for people who are listening to this podcast who have lost a loved one, he said, you know, is the house, and that's the McMansion that everybody refers to because they're selling Coyote Pass. Robyn essentially says in last night's conversation, she's losing the battle and it's time to go and accept reality. But Kody now wants to sell the McMansion too. And he says, look, That was the house where I got the phone call that I lost my son, that Garrison had taken his own life, and I have so many painful memories. I lost all my wives in that house. I lost my son in that house. Like, the host thinks people who have lost somebody get it. She thinks they get his pain. And Robyn said it would be nice to have a house for the grandkids and, our kids. And then she refers to Kody's "your kids," which the host thought was very interesting phrasing, to come visit. So, viewers have planted that seed in the narrative. Then viewers pop back to Meri speed dating, and this is where it gets so good. This was to the host the highlight of last night's episode. Meri wants a 6-foot-tall man. Everybody wants a 6-foot-tall man, it seems. The host has no idea why height is so important. She loves the meme that goes around on social media. If you're dating a man 5'5", he's a labradoodle. The host means she's dated men of all shapes, all sizes. Honey, at the end of the day, can they make you laugh? Can they keep you entertained? Do they have any goals? Are they about supporting yours? Now, hers is a little bit taller, but he's not that much taller. She means she guesses he's 6 foot. She thinks he's probably starting to shrink with age, but she doesn't care. She likes a labradoodle. She's 5'3" herself. She doesn't know. She's trying to think of how tall Meri is in real life. Anyhow, like every woman that's on any sort of speed date or social media or whatever, they all want a man. Give them a 7-footer. So, first up is Lee. Oh boy. And Lee is so awkward to watch. Lee is this guy. He's from the Salt Lake area. The guy is just, there ain't no chemistry between them. Lee's been divorced. The host means it's struggling. He's giving one-word answers to her questions. It's comical, but viewers are actually sweating for her watching this unfold. Then viewers get on to Jeff. Okay, Jeff is next in the rotation. And Jeff is like, oh, hey, I hear you're the resident celebrity here. She's like, yeah, that's what I hear, And then the host thought this was great. But Meri prides herself on having a sense of humor, but she didn't like this one joke. So Jeff rolls up. Jeff goes, so Meri's like, have you been married, divorced? He goes, actually, I've been divorced twice, but not from the same woman. Actually, 2 different women. And so he's basically making a polygamy joke to be funny. And she ain't having it at all. She doesn't find it funny one bit. The host is like, Meri, she thinks she's a little stuck on that plural marriage topic. That's like a soft spot for her, clearly. So, or he said something about the host thinks he's been married and divorced twice, but he wasn't married to them at the same time, or something along those lines. So he makes a polygamy joke. She ain't having it any way, shape, or form. It was so good to watch. The host knows viewers know what she's talking about. That was such a highlight of the episode. And she was like, ooh, all right, Meri, you might have to do a little more therapy around that sensitive topic. Then the host is, sorry, but sparks lit up on screen. Then comes Daniel. Daniel is 36 years old. Ooh, he's cute down there in the old Salt Lake. Meri is smitten with this man. Okay, but she is so hung up on, oh my God, I could be your mother. I could be you, Meri. You should do him. Like, you don't have to marry him. Why don't you just like to have a good time with 6-year-old Daniel? She can't get over the age difference. She cannot get over the age gap. The host is like, girl, go have some fun with this young man. She's like, Leon, my child is 28. I could basically be your mom. But you're not. You're not his mom at all. Have a good time, girl. You're turned on and excited. He gives her the most conversation of anyone so far. Okay, Mykelti and Christine, they have a moment together. Everybody's leaving Christine's area. Now, viewers saw this in the trailer leading up to season 20 that Christine, she ain't thrilled because everyone's moving to North Carolina closer to Janelle, and there's a little bit of the host thinks a little tension, right? Of all my grandbabies are going to be in North Carolina, but David's business, he's got a legit roofing business, she believes, or construction company. His kids, she thinks his base is so strong in Utah. And of course, hers was too that they are staying there, but now all their kids want to move to North Carolina. So very emotional for Christine. The host will say this is where she got a little bored because she believes, and viewers all know, the timeline even better if they're listening to the podcast or watching on YouTube or commenting on Spotify. How many years ago did Tony and Mykelti move to North Carolina? Because the host thinks it's been 2 years. She thinks it's been a couple years already. So this felt dated to her watching it. And, Mykelti and Tony kind of joke about the fact that Mykelti's like, look, Tony won't let me live polygamy, so I want to move closer to Maddie. Gwen, viewers find out, is considering moving there as well. Peyton's considering moving there too. And the biggest reason they're moving there is because the host didn't even know this. But North Carolina is the chess capital of the United States. And Tony loves chess. Never knew this about him before. And viewers find out, here we go. that Tony and Mykelti are leaving and Robyn and Kody did not make time to see them before they left. And viewers pop to Kody. Kody, of course, blames scheduling conflicts and has a whole runaround and rigmarole of excuses. And Kody basically says, yeah, my relationship with my kids is estranged because of trash talk and they have loyalty issues. Again, how long? Okay, viewers have been hearing this now for, they're going on 3 seasons maybe. Did this kind of start in season 18? It did. So now viewers are going on 3 seasons of this. There's no resolution to this family conflict. And viewers know in real time from watching Paden on social media, the host doesn't think he has connected with a lot of his kids recently. Aspen pops in on screen. She's upset as well because she lived in North Carolina, then moved back. And Christine also chimes in and says, one of the big reasons too Mykelti and Tony are leaving is because Mykelti tried like heck, like did everything she could in Flagstaff to keep the family together, and it hasn't worked out. And viewers do. No, there was some sort of incident that went down at Garrison's funeral with Robyn and Kody. Now, Meri has completely said that has nothing to do with the will of Garrison or finances. It has nothing to do with that matter, but, Mykelti has said something happened when they were all together and she's not as close to Kody and Robyn anymore. Boom. Viewers pop back to Meri. Meri's still speed dating. She ain't over Daniel, but she's moved on to Ron. Oh, the host got tea on Ron. She got tea from Ron Meister. So Ron, viewers are going to get used to it, and they're going to see a fair amount of it in season 20. Ron seems mature and stable. He has 3 kids. He has a grandson. He lives in Salt Lake City, or near the Salt Lake area. He was divorced 4 or 5 years ago from his wife. And Ron is very much spiritually on the same page as Meri. He has a vision board and goals. And Ron hits her with, what's your love language? Meri is melting when he asks this, okay? And Meri knows her love language. All right. And then, wasn't it interesting that producers went right back to Kody and they were like, Kody, what's your love language? And he says, my love language is touch. Like, isn't it weird that viewers didn't go to everyone at this moment? They just went to Meri and Janelle. Maybe it's because, Kody never touched Meri for 15 years. And Meri's host can't even remember what Meri's was. She thinks it's physical touch as well, and maybe words, and then gifts, or something along those lines. And Ron is super attracted to her. Ron says he's attracted to her, he likes the hair, he likes the look, he likes the communication style, and Ron wants to see her again after this. Okay, so let's come into what the host knows from her sources. Her sources are telling her viewers are going to see Ron throughout season 20. What remains pretty vague, and she hears from various people. She hears mixed things. She hears that they've gone out on several dates, which viewers are going to see, but there's not a lot of chemistry for Ron now. Meri's sort of into him. He's not so much into her, but viewers are going to play out this dating situation throughout season 20. She also hears that they're continuing to film even in the fall, and sources are telling her there are scenes, she doesn't know if they're breakup scenes, but that Ron is even filming for season 21. So the host, has she just spilled that viewers are getting a season 21? It sort of seems like it from what she's hearing. Okay, so Meri and Jen debrief after the speed dating event, and Meri's still hung up on Daniel. She loved the conversation with Daniel. Why didn't viewers get more of that? They should have gotten more of what did Daniel say to her that got her she can't forget about him. Okay, let's pop back to David and Christine. They're moving Mykelti and Tony across the country, as viewers know, to North Carolina. The host loves David. She loves David. This man is so good on reality TV. Who knew? Who knew he would be this entertaining? She actually thinks this guy is gonna to save this season. He's funny, he's off the cuff, he plays on the television, he's authentic. So, David is gonna drive across the country with the U-Haul. They open up their door in Utah to get into the U-Haul, and there's a stray dog out front. And David is a riot. He's first of all, Christine comes out, she's what's this rat on our door? We don't allow rats inside. He's the host doesn't even know what the breed of the dog is, but it's a tiny dog. And David makes a joke about polygamy. And he's girl, what do you want to do? You want to eat it? The host sounded so mad. He's girl, you want to eat it? Because he's I heard the rumor that polygamists love to eat their pets. God, here we go with these jokes. And she's that's not true. Don't even start these rumors about me, the host. Loves that he takes the piss out of her. And she's we were dirt poor. He's squirrels, raccoons, were you eating snakes out there in Montana? He's giving her such a hard time because, the polygamists were broke financially. And the host doesn't know, she doesn't know that much about polygamists. But do they like cats and dogs? Okay, so he's taking the piss. He wants to put this stray dog in the U-Haul. She's like, it's somebody's dog in the neighborhood. The host loves the dynamic between them. She thinks a little bit Christine doesn't know what to do with him now that she's in it. Like, the host thinks he's just such a free spirit compared to the kind of oppressive life she lived before. Meri and Janelle also Zoom over Coyote Pass, and Kody called Janelle. He's ready to put their names on the titles finally. So if viewers are thinking, okay, when did this all go down? Now, that scene of Meri and Janelle on Zoom probably happened late 2024, maybe early 2025, so hopefully that's an indicator that the show is pushing and pushing closer to real time. And there's this big back and forth. He finally decides he wants to sell Coyote Pass. He's going to put their names on it. And he says to Janelle, the host, this to her, because she wants to interview Kody so badly with being on Special Forces because she actually thinks he's really good on Special Forces. And he's like, Janelle, do you mind calling Meri? I don't want to call Meri and talk to her about, putting her name on anything because she's a nag. And the host, she's such a nagging ex-wife, according to him. And, Janelle shares this with Meri, and Meri's like she can't even, here we are, grown adults, we're in our 50 seconds, we spent all this time together. The guy can't pick up the phone and go, hey girl, okay, we're ready to sell. You're going to get your 25% I'm redividing. Your name's going to be on the title. I'm going to send it to your lawyer. We're ready to square up. The host means how stupid, how juvenile was that behavior? And they, the producers go to Kody and he's like, yeah, I know. He's like, okay, well, here's the thing. He always sort of has this the host thinks what a lot of people say was a charismatic way. She finds now to be a little bit more grating. She actually finds Robyn to be more sensible with him. She finds it more grating. He's like, well, here's the thing. All right. Yeah, I should have called her, but, she's kind of a nagging ex-wife. I don't really want to speak to her, and with her, you got to get into everything. So, it's like, dude, come on, really? So Meri says she's completely over him. She's over him. She finds it dumb. And she doesn't even try to figure him out anymore, which is the best place to be emotionally. And they kind of have a laugh in the ex-wives club, as they say, because Kody refers to Robyn as his shy and beautiful wife, shy and pretty. So Janelle and Meri are totally annoyed, and they kind of joke, look, we're finally getting a parting gift with the sale of Coyote Pass, which, okay. So Kody and Robyn walked away with $750,300. So Janelle and Meri each got $375 kelvins from the sale. And then Janelle lets viewers know. She goes, you know what? I'll tell you right now, I would have taken his ass to the cleaners. And she didn't say it like that exactly, but she's like, if I had been married to Kody, I would have taken 50%. You better believe it. Like, the host loves this. She's like, if we had been married, I'd be getting 50% of those coins. But they are going to get a parting gift, which they are happy about because they are not receiving alimony because, unfortunately, they were not legally married to Kody. Then viewers head back to Christine and David. They're in the U-Haul driving to North Carolina to move Mykelti and Tony. And no, David, he wants to be a tornado chaser. The host feels like there's so many things that David could also share and has nothing to do with, well, it probably has something to do with a tornado, but not that kind. Anyhow, and then viewers pop back to Kody and Robyn, and he really wants to sell. He really wants to sell the house, the McMansion, and he says again, the host thought this was interesting. He reiterates over and over again on the episode that all the women are going to be treated equally. Meri, Janelle are going to get 25%, so is Robyn, so is Kody. And Robyn still, is sad about Coyote Pass, but begins to have a shift last night towards the end of the episode, essentially saying, I think I am ready to sell the McMansion because I don't think my heart can take driving by Coyote Pass every day and seeing a developer or multiple people or whatever develop Coyote Pass. I just don't think I can take it emotionally. And she's beginning to soften to the idea that they buy a new home together. And then after 100 years of filming this show, they finally go out onto this gorgeous, big, beautiful porch. Which, by the way, of course Robyn wanted a porch all her sister wives could sit on. Meanwhile, she's owned one for the past 8 years. They could all have been there. They're finally filming on this gorgeous, beautiful porch. And Kody says, hear me out, hear me out. I've got an idea. Why don't you go look at homes? So it's so weird. Isn't it funny to the host? And it's not funny. She means the guy has lived through this horrible tragedy with the passing of his son, but have viewers ever met a guy now? The host means it's like, is the house asbestos filled? She means he can't wait to get it on the market. He's like, the host doesn't know if this was reshot for filming, but he, the guy, likes every scene. He's like, okay, Robyn, you know what? Go look for places. Why don't you hop on Zillow right now, sis? See what you think. She's like, well, give me a day or two. He's like, no, if you see anything, happy wife, happy life. And they say this was a big moment. They say they want a room for Truly. They want a bedroom because they believe if Truly has a bedroom, she may come and stay with them more often. And they want a place where their grandkids could come and where Kody's kids can come and they can welcome the children back in. And it's kind of like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. If we buy a McMansion, an even bigger McMansion with more bedrooms, the kids will come back. The host thinks they're going to need something more than that to repair these relationships.